Augury, you were in the middle of a reality storm that was literally transforming any inorganic matter around you to ash, rust, dust, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
Well, Augury was in the middle of having a conversation with this person. So she's gonna start by saying, well, that was impressive and mildly horrifying.
It's only just the beginning. This is only an ounce of what I can produce.
Okay. But what do you want me for?
Haven't I been rather clear about what I want from you? You're one of the first organic beings to have even some semblance of control. Most of those that we see, most of those that were once one of ours, keel over in less than 24 hours. So the fact that you're still standing and have some measure of control is somewhat fascinating, even if your power is a little bit lacking.
Okay. Alright, so Augury is going to, she's gonna try to hurl something else at the clown. This time, it's going to be, like, basically it's the world beyond the walls answer to bullets, in that it's fragments of crystal being sent at very high speeds, little tiny pieces. Basically, if you don't dodge this, you get turned into Swiss cheese by tiny pieces of shrapnel.
Unleash your power. Coming in opposite.
Okay. And this is something Andromeda helps with, so I take a +1 to the roll.
Absolutely. Ooh,
Okay.
15. So?
All right. Right, so maybe Augury gets to be the impressive one now.
Here. And. Marking 2 condition.
I don't get to pick those, though, do I?
No, this.
I see.
Okay, so angry, I think, is going to be a pretty apt one. Now, admittedly, these are a little different than yours. They have different qualifications. The conditions that villains take. Okay. Villains in a fight whenever. Okay. And I think I'm gonna mark insecure here. As your, I'll call it what it is, shrapnel. The burst of shrapnel lands smack dab on him, shredding him to bits. However, he still kind of stands, that smile never leaving his face as he kind of glares at you with a little bit of something else behind that smile. And he goes, impressive. And then he starts doing the very cliche, sarcastic slow clap, as it were. Now. Tit for tat, right? My turn. At this point, I am going to make an adult, or yes, it would be an adult move, I guess. Let me pull those up, because those are on their own separate thing. GM sheet. There you are. Wait, nope, that's not where you are. That moment where... Oh, is it in the other sheet? No, it isn't. Okay. Yeah, I was looking in the right one. Where is it? Sample villain names. Marks, hooks, restoration. Nope, none of that. Alright, well. I'm gonna just... Where's my book? I say, where's my book? And then I'm literally looking at my book when I say it. 118. So that is going...
Am I not?
Sorry, what?
I said, am I not supposed to look at this part of the book?
I think you can take some of these with advancements.
Mm-hmm.
But
I also have a Doom sign specifically based around being able to use adult moves by marking my Doom track.
yeah, so I'm in your case.
I'll have to look at it later.
In your case, you can technically because of that. So this is freak roll. On a 10 plus, I choose.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So as he rushes forward, he actually grabs. He's going to choose take a hold of something vulnerable to you. He's not grabbing Augury. He's grabbing a Dremelac.
No.
And create something useful from the environment. The very next thing he creates are almost an exact replica of what you just did with the crystals. But this made from the rust that still hangs in the air. So instead of these crystals, they're sharp spikes of rust.
Yeah.
So, you wanted to play? Let's play. I've got something of yours. I can do exactly what you're doing, as I've told you. How's this gonna go?
There's still plenty of this rust dust around, isn't?
Yes, it's essentially, it is a reality storm, so it's kind of like swirling around, almost like you're in the center of a tornado. So everything around you's relatively calm, it's just a maelstrom around the two of you.
Okay. And I'm just going out on a limb here, but I'm assuming Command Lucky is not available to me as long as Andromelech has been taken from me.
That's a Dremelac's ability, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, not while he has control over a Dremelec, so to speak.
Okay. All right. I'd like to mark my doom track to get a vision about this situation.
Okay. So, that is your... What question you want to ask, or is it a roll life?
I get to ask you a question after the vision and get an honest answer from you.
Okay. So, what is the question?
How can I defeat my enemy? My enemy being this clown dude who's right in front of me, aka the general.
So, the vision that takes place is somewhat out of order. I'm gonna put it like that. See how you see the three of you standing over him, defeated. The next scene is that of blinding white lights. You can't see too much. Everything is glaring white around you. You feel like you're moving. You also get the sense you hear Coriolis' voice nearby as well. You hear other voices you don't recognize. But it feels familiar. It doesn't feel like the place that you're at right now. It feels closer to home, as it were. And it's at this moment you see, from the outside, you see this maelstrom of ash, rust, and dust. Kind of like an aerial view. You can also see the part of the city where there are the attack ships. You see Coriolis, you see Eclipse, incapacitated at this moment. And you see, on the outside, the maelstrom is uniform in its color of gray and red, except for one spot, which is much lighter in color, as if there's less material in that spot for whatever reason. You don't know 100% what's going on, probably because just the way this being's abilities work. And this scene of the vision lasts long enough for you to allows Augury enough time to kind of memorize it. Enough where I think you might just be, even if you can't see it on the inside, you have a general understanding of where it's going to be or where it is at the current moment.
So I found a blind spot in the storm.
And within there is your answer to how to beat this foe. Nothing says the visions have to be clear.
Well, that was my 5th mark on my doom track, so I get another doom sign now.
Excellent. While you think about that and the information given, we're gonna hop back over to Coriolis.
Hello.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, power went out.
Not the first time that's happened.
Apparently, the storm was like supposed to like go. Well, it wasn't supposed to hit us, but apparently it did, like the very edge of it. And so I guess like some power station just went out, and the entire building just, and then, which was really unfortunate because now the storm's over, or at least we're not in it anymore. It was literally like a minute. So
great. Well then, It's at this point that I am going to make a roll. Ignore the name. This is a generated name that Roll20 has come up with.
Sure.
Full hit. Okay.
Like, that's not good.
As these shadow people begin to rush in every direction, a few rush towards Eclipse herself as if to maybe aid her, but then are almost immediately repelled by the electricity casting light. But as they begin to form somewhat of a wall of shadow, others begin to climb on top of this forming wall until they can reach the attack ship and leap on it. Others
That is good.
Others make flying leaps at other copters. Some just make flying leaps off the side of the building towards the city below. A number of them rush after you. I need you to either unleash your powers or directly engage the threat or take a powerful blow here.
Let us unleash my powers to just sort of fling the ground downwards, and essentially, given to Newton's third law, it all has to go with every action. There's an equal and opposite reaction, blah, 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 and just sort of put a bunch of pressure and force down onto the roof and to the ground. And that will just spike a lot of rock and earth and rubble upwards, and hopefully it sends the shadow people and hopefully not Eclipse flying.
All right, unleash your power.
A 7. Ooh, getting close.
Getting lower.
Getting lower.
So that means on a 7 to 9, mark and condition, or the GM tells you how your effect is unstable or temporary.
I guess tell me how it's temporary, because I don't see how a condition might apply here, or at least for Coriolis at this moment.
I can tell you how it's unstable.
Sure.
As you place all this weight up, when it kicks back, the reaction kicks back. The shrapnel goes flying all over the place. Clones are flying all over the place. However, maybe it's the amount of spatial distortion that is being caused here because of how these shadow clones may be interacting with light. Your aim was just a hair off as you send yourself flying as well into the air.
Whoa! And you just kind of see, well, if anyone was there to see, Coriolis just kind of like ragdolls upwards and flings around because he wasn't obviously expecting this.
Augury, your vision does show that particular scene. Just
Bruh.
just because I have to do that. So just add that to the scene when I was talking about how you were seeing what was going on outside. You see.
Yes, my friends are, to put it bluntly, in trouble. And if they were in the vision and that was the answer I was looking for, I probably need their help to do this.
So, with that, you do see, from your lovely vantage point up in the air now, Coriolis, a couple of the attack helicopters are now flying into buildings out of control, as the shadow clones seem to be relatively effective at what they're doing. What would you like to do?
So a couple of the shadows just rushed off of the building. Are they attacking civilians? Or just people that are just kind of looking around, bystander?
I feel like that's a move that has questions attached to it. I feel like that's assessing the situation here.
Alright, bet. Assess this an 8.
8.
And so that's my question.
Yeah, obviously. Yes, they are attacking random citizens, and let's just say, from what you can tell, the average citizen is no match for these things. You're seeing things you really wish you wouldn't have, such as like shadow clones slamming people into the pavement. It is... there's no other way to put it. Unless something slows down the shadow clones or somehow restores Eclipse's ability to control them, it's going to be a massacre.
Coriolis just mutters under his breath, and he is going to use one of his burns and flare up shielding. Call up a fast protective field to stop a danger. You spend 1 burn to defend someone else from an immediate threat, rolling freak instead of savior.
Trying to save other people?
Yes, I'm trying to save the bystanders, or at least like create a wall of force that blocks off the shadow clones from the rest of the bystanders, or at least propels them off of anybody they already have, and give them ample enough time to escape. Or make distance. 11.
Absolutely.
And that's one of my burns.
How many more you got? 2? What?
I have 2 more burn.
Your shielding seems to be working for now. However, you feel it. Not physically, but almost as if there was a bit of kickback with your power. Whether you feel that mentally or however you would feel that. You feel them essentially beating the shield. By no means do you think it's going to break anytime soon, but you know for a fact they're trying to break it. With that worry in your mind, what goes up must come down unless you're going to stop it.
I'm not gonna stop it. I mean, I imagine him just like doing this in midair as he just sees it, but he's not really concerned about himself, or at least factors that in right now at this moment.
Absolutely.
And so now he's just gonna fall down to the ground. It's like, whoa! Oh, and for the defend move, I want to take influence over those civilians I protect.
Okay. As you're also up in the air, it would be at this time that you also see the massive storm that was where you once were. You know the general direction of the warehouse that you were at.
Okay.
A lot of things happened when you got thrown into the air there. I'm sorry.
What about Eclipse right now? How's she doing?
Passed out. It seems like the electricity has faded. This helicopter still cannot move because it is still, the rhubarb is still embedded into the top of the building. And the pilots seem to be relatively capable in this one, and they are defending against the shadow people that have attempted to board it. However, there's nay infinite of the shadow people, so it's only a matter of time.
Right. So, well, I want them to keep fighting the helicopters and the military people. I think that's a good idea. That's very smart. I guess now my main goal is protecting other bystanders first and foremost. Continuing to do that, and then if able, maybe make sure that Eclipse isn't dead.
Maybe make sure.
Well, I mean, as long as like the shadow people are still around, that's a pretty good sign that she's not dead. But I mean, she's still my teammate. I want to make sure she's okay. Or at least she can recover.
So with that being stated, what is Coriolis' action?
He still has his wall of dark matter force protecting the bystanders right now. It gives them ample time to get out. But since that's still up and no other bystanders, to my knowledge, anyways, in
Not
danger,
that you can see.
He's gonna go check with Eclipse and maybe see if he could wake her up. Maybe see if she needs like really, really, really dire medical attention. Probably considering like her arm kind of melted off like last session and
A lot of stuff happened last session at Eclipse. So since you didn't really take care of this situation, I am gonna need you to take a powerful blow as you land.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You flung yourself up. You're a powerful opponent, okay?
8. Okay.
Ooh, that makes sense here. You can't really well, I guess you could verbally lash out at a teammate. That teammate just happens to be unconscious.
I'd say I'd struggle past the pain. So I'll mark angry and maybe insecure too.
As you land with a very loud thud, and you're pretty sure you heard not your back break, but your back definitely did pop a bit when you landed.
Spines aren't supposed to go pop.
I shouldn't have done that. God damn it. Okay, come on. Come on, get up, Coriolis. Come on. Up. And with that, he's gonna try and inch closer and closer to get into Eclipse.
Luckily, those that are the shadow clones that are around Eclipse don't seem to be very interested in doing anything about you approaching. They seem to be far more intent on dispersing now as the electric field is gone. They no longer need to create a gigantic wall, so a lot of them are running off. Who knows when and where. At this point, I'm also going. You feel nothing. Your shielding is holding perfectly fine.
Okay. That's good.
As you get to Eclipse, well, you already know what to roll here, I think.
Take another powerful blow?
Assess the situation.
Oh, yeah, okay. It's like she's gonna punch me? I got a 7.
No, she's not gonna punch you. What would be the question that you want?
What here can I use to maybe stabilize her or to stop the shadow people from causing damage to the nearby area.
Oh.
Just for something for me to know. Not to use right now, but to know.
Okay. As you kind of look over Eclipse, you notice her body is still under spasm, probably due to the amount of electricity pumped into her body. Which means that her brain's probably firing rapidly with synapses, electrical impulses. That, if you're able to regulate that, that might reduce the number, if not completely get rid of the shadow people. However, as for how you do that, that's another question entirely.
I mean, I could do something with electrostatic force and mass. There's gravity manipulations coming in. It's more clutch than I thought.
You just have like the Wikipedia page of everything you can do with gravity pulled up.
No, this is just off of memory, to be honest. Though I don't know. I just know that there's some relation. I just don't know what. So I'm probably gonna bullcrap it.
There is something called the Superpower Wiki that you can literally look up gravity manipulation and it'll give you a huge bunch of resources. And we're gonna move back to Augury.
I'm gonna look that up.
So, Augury, coming back from your vision. Oh, somebody went night-night. How were your dreams?
Might have learned some tricks. Augury's going to... That's what she's calling it. That probably isn't what it actually is.
Sorry, you kind of cut out there.
Augury's going to try to find the Eye of Storm. But she knows that's the key to trying to get the upper hand on this clown.
Alright. I would say give me an assess the situation at a +3.
Okay.
Situational bonus coming from your vision.
Yay. Yay.
Not at this very moment, but you probably have about 30 to 35 seconds before the wall closest to you, the one behind you. Since you are essentially...
I'm also taking...
Go ahead.
I'm also taking bolstered as my third doom sign. This is effectively plan B.
So essentially, both you and the general are on opposite ends of this storm. As that pole, as it were, moves around the storm, it's going to be directly behind you within 30 to 35 seconds. So,
All right.
You've got a little bit of time, but not a lot.
That just means I have to stall until then.
How would you like to stall?
Okay. Up until now, the clown has basically been trying to push Augury to see what he can get her to do. Now, he's at least a little bit pissed at her because she's proven that she's ready to rumble, and he, I'm going to be honest, he seems kind of like a bully. He doesn't particularly like being opposed. So, Augury is going to give him more of what he wants, and she's just going to lob a fence, thinking that he's on top into not realizing what she's waiting.
You kind of cut out a bit there. I wasn't able to understand what you were saying. Sorry.
Okay. Augury's going to buy time by slinging offensive spells at the clown in the hopes of keeping him distracted so that she won't realize she's figured out how to try and deal with the storm.
All right.
So she's just gonna like.
Give me that freak roll. Throwing spells about.
Mm-hmm. Damn it.
As you begin to throw spells, unlike the last one, twists and moves and contorts his body almost like an acrobat does, as he kind of moves out of the way of everything, and then almost gracefully, bent over completely backwards, just points one finger towards you. And the rust spikes fly at you. I need you to take a powerful blow at this.
Okay. I'm not gonna say that.
You must remove yourself from the situation, flee, pass out, etc. You lose control of yourself or your powers in a terrible way, or you take 2 options from the 7 or 9 list.
I'll take 2 options from the 7 to 9. I'll mark 2 conditions, and I'll give some ground.
Now,
I'll mark
what conditions?
hopeless. We'll make it hopeless, and we'll make it afraid, because despite the vision that she's had, Augury is getting really worried that she's just gonna die before she gets the chance to gain the upper hand here.
So, giving him an opportunity here. He is going to use. Plus superior here.
Oh no, is this the part where he realizes I've tried to pull the wool over his eye? Maybe.
Did it roll on your guys' end?
Not for me, no.
There we go.
There we go.
Full hit.
Ugh.
Oh no.
Okay, if they're a PC. Okay, if they're... So, persuade with best interests. Options for overwhelm a vulnerable foe. If they're a PC, on a hit, they can mark potential or shift their labels. On a 10 plus, take influence over them as well. So, he now has influence over you.
I thought he already did.
Well, if he didn't, he does now.
Okay, well,
reason
I'll add
for
him in just to be safe.
The reason for that is because even if he did, that would mean you shift your labels. You're already going to be shifting your labels if you give in here, and you also gain potential if you do what they want. Ooh, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Bless you. Do what they want. The evil devil on your shoulder. Just do what they want.
So, just humor me. You've talked all this grandiose about control. You've been using your powers quite magnificently, trying to show an ounce of strength. I respect that. Now, if you could just do me one thing and finally entertain me for 3 seconds. This book, this manual, as you called it, instruction book, whatever you, because I called it instruction and apparently I was wrong, even though I believe that's what you, whatever. And he is somewhat incoherent at this point. Where is it? How do I obtain it?
You want me to give it to you?
That's something you can do.
What will you offer me if I do?
I just nuts. Come on. This conversation's boring me. You don't have much
You're
time
right.
here.
No. Augury is going to mark her doom track so that she can use the adult move, overwhelm vulnerable foe. That is, if the general is vulnerable to me.
See, technically he's using persuade with best interest because you're vulnerable at this time.
Oh, so he isn't also vulnerable to me then?
Did your last roll make him vulnerable to you?
I mean, I figured when I hit him real good earlier and kind of pissed him off, that might have done it.
That caused him to mark conditions, which is essentially making villains mark conditions is their health track, essentially.
Okay, so he's not vulnerable enough for that.
Yeah, vulnerable is more, it's the effect of a move rather than of a condition.
Okay, well, either way, Augury might not have long to live and stuff, but she is not going to let what happened to her happen to anyone else, especially if they're being forced into it. So she's going to fight.
Okay, so
Her spells are probably still her best option, to be completely honest.
So are you trying to stay and fight here, or are you still looking to get out of this?
Augury doesn't want to leave Andromelech behind. If she tries to run, well, the general is probably going to follow. She hasn't been given any reason to presume that he's going to let her leave, right?
Definitely not after denying the general the entertainment he so desperately seeks.
Well, since she refused, then she's definitely going to stand her ground. That's her best shot.
All right.
See. So yeah, Augury is just gonna go straight for the fighting. And actually, you know what? Even if it's mechanically inferior, just to spite the general, Augury isn't even gonna use her magic. She's just gonna try to punch him in the face.
Excellent. Directly engage a threat.
Honestly, she's just beyond done with this situation. Even if she also has the negative dice and stuff because she's got afraid as well. Because honestly, like, no. This dude is a jerk.
So, on a 7 to 9, pick one. Resist or trade their blows. Take something from them. Create an opportunity for your allies. Impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
Does that last one give me an opportunity to use Overwhelm a Vulnerable Foe on the general?
I feel like technically that's what number 3 is designed for. Is to
But
obviously
but
it's
all alone, I don't count as my own ally, do I?
no. Yeah,
think
that's what
so,
I was
no.
that's what I was getting ready to say. Was technically, if let's say Coriolis had done this and chosen that, then yes, you would be 100% set up for it. I feel like that's what it's meant to be intended for, is that type of stuff.
Yeah. So basically, unless Augury gets really, really lucky, she probably can't beat this guy on her own.
However, if you want, take something from them.
That was going to be my next notion. Augury's going to steal Andromelech back.
Is it really theft when it belonged to you to begin with?
I mean, I suppose that depends. I'm not here to debate semantics with the general.
As
Kidnapped my...
as the creature is absconded with, you hear the irritated sound of fine, take your animal. I didn't really even want it. I can find 10,000 more of them if I really wanted to. Those are not all that uncommon. But come on. Work with me here. I ask you one simple question.
Augury just kind of gives the guy a disgusted stare. Like, if I give you that book, you're just going to use it to press gang other people into developing the same magic as me. It will kill them. And honestly, as much as I want to get out of this bind, I don't want it so much that I'm willing to sacrifice other people for my own. And then she's going to turn around. You know what? She's actually not even going to turn around and run. She's just going to do mark and portal out.
As the portal begins to appear, he goes, "Really? You're so short-sighted that you think I'm..." "No, I just want to see who..." And then you go through the portal. Where did you portal to?
If it's that important, he'll come find me. To Coriolis. Because she knows Coriolis is with Eclipse, and she knows they're both in trouble. She needs to be there to be able to help them.
Coriolis?
She was sick of her own... she was sick of the conversations she was having anyway, so this is better.
A portal opens up next to you. Very reminiscent of... a little bit smaller in scale of the one that you saw within the warehouse. And Augury steps through it.
She looks a bit beaten up as well. And she's holding Andromelech.
Hey, I don't suppose you can do anything about someone who has more than 1,000 volts running through their body, give or take?
Can Augury take in the situation as she hasn't already seen it in person?
Go ahead and give me the assess the situation.
Let's see. That isn't something Andromelech gives me a bonus to, so I guess I'm at the mercy of my dice. Oh, I know nothing.
So, don't know 100% if you can do anything, but I'm pretty sure Augury's still willing to give it a shot, even if even if she's not 100% sure, it's still something that she can try. And
Sure. So,
positive, and now I'm gonna start talking about electricity like I know what I'm doing here. Theoretically, you remember something in school about how certain voltages can cancel each other out, positive and negative, something like that. It's how much attention does Augury honestly pay in class, or was she just distracted that day? Who knows?
indeed. So, Augury can see big electric pulse sticking out of her friend. She wants to try and break the thing down into atoms, if she can, to, like, sort of pick it apart.
That's something that Augury can do with her powers? They've been
Well,
shown.
she has telekinesis. Granted, this will be extremely fine telekinesis.
Yeah.
Alternatively,
Coriolis could do something,
different
but
idea then.
would he be in enough of a mind state to possibly know? I don't know. He does not know. He's too insecure about his powers right now to really think.
Okay, new plan. What if Augury wanted to use her sanctuary for this? To go into the world beyond the wall and try to find something that might be able to help?
Absolutely. Let's use that sanctuary.
Yeah.
So, the thing I want to use my sanctuary for is to get Eclipse out of this bind where she's being pinned down and electrocuted by this giant pole, and to get her, like, healed up so that she isn't, like, having a gaping wound in her body, and to, like, hopefully get her conscious and in a mentally stable situation again.
Right, so.
Regrettably, regeneration is not a feature of her sanctuary, but there are some relics sitting around that one of those might be able to do it.
So you want to call on a relic?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can give you up to 1 to 4 conditions. Okay, so you and your team will risk danger from the shadow clones because you are doing something outside of existing around Eclipse. You're doing something that they might perceive as a threat. You'll need to mark 1 box of your Doom track and I'll give you an option here. You can either just take the best you can do as a lesser version, unreliable and limited, or give me a freak roll, and on a 10 or higher, I will drop that completely. You can still do it even if you don't get it. It will just still be a lesser version.
I'll give you the freak roll.
Add a little bit of risk to this.
Yay!
All right. Really is feast or famine tonight, isn't it?
What exactly... Describe the relic that you're pulling from your sanctuary.
Okay. The relic that Augury is going to look for is, well, she can't read the runes on the side, but it's basically like a chalice. She suspects it's some kind of otherworldly knockoff of the Holy Grail, except apparently when you fill the Holy Grail with some sort of liquid, it turns into like some kind of golden stuff. She suspects it's meant to be nectar or whatever, the drink of the gods. Anyway, you drink that stuff and it heals you. The only problem is the relic is rather finicky, and after you use it, it kind of goes dim and quits working for a while, which is why she tries not to use it all that often. But also, the less that needs to be said about cursed teacup woes, the better, because she's pretty sure at one point it tried to kill her.
As Augury draws this from her sanctuary,